Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're having a better day than I am. Yes, we're a little bit late. I do apologize. A little bit of technical difficulties, but guess what? We are here and we're getting ready to have a great show. A little bit of technical difficulty, so I'm trying to work with this little tiny phone. But hey, I love that StreamYard allows you to do this so many different ways. So today I'd like to say welcome to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Gwen Finley, otherwise known as Miss G. I've got my guest. She's here in the lounge waiting, and ready to come on and chat with us. I hope that your day has been wonderful. Excuse me. I hope your day has been wonderful. It is another magnificent Monday. And of course, on Mondays, we try to bring you the best women and entrepreneurs out there and entertainers and authors and whatever they're doing. We try to bring you some great women and people on the show to inspire you and to encourage you and to let you see that there's something else going on in the world besides what's going on in your little corner. So today I'm going to have my guest come in just a few minutes. If you would just allow me to give you another quick intro. All right, we're getting ready to get started. We have our um, guest here. Hold on. Okay, so we're back. So we have a wonderful guest in the audience, and I'm going to do as much as I can without her bio because I cannot find it. Listen, it's all good because we're going to ask her questions, and she's going to be able to answer those questions for us. There's nothing that is too hard for us to do on today. We are going to have a fabulous time, regardless of anything that does not want to work correctly. Today, my guest is Erika Brooks. She is a licensed professional counselor. Listen, she has so much great personality. I met her at a conference back in I want to say November, a conference for women and women entrepreneurs. And so she and I had an opportunity to sit close by each other and have a lot of chats, but today we're going to talk about some great things that she is doing in the community. We're going to talk about self care. We're going to talk about mental health awareness and so many different things. And so I want you to just get ready for what she has to say on today. It's going to be a great show. So Erica, she is also a substance abuse counselor. Has done family therapy. She's done individualized women, men, all kinds of treatment services for those. She also loves and enjoys working with women and their women's health issues, mental health, stress and anxiety. Those are some of her favorite things. She is licensed and certified, and I'll let her tell you about all of her certifications and licenses so that I don't mess them up. All right, so I wish you would just be kind enough to help me to bring in my guest right now, Erika Brooks. Come on, just put those hands together. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, woo.
Hello.
Erika, that was probably the worst intro you ever had in your life, but it's
N- No, it wasn't. Thank you, because I love the way you described me and my energy. I wouldn't say that about myself. So I appreciate you telling me that. Thank you.
yeah. You've had plenty of energy. You actually kept us all chatting at the table. between you, myself, Mary. It was a couple of us. So yeah, we had a lot of nice interactions.
We
So
did. It was fun.
it was. So Mary, just do me a favor and just tell us about your background, since I don't have the whole story. Tell us about your background and what you actually do in a brief statement.
It's quite all right. I understand the day that you're having. We all have them from time to time. So, my therapist tip at the moment is just take a deep breath and
Thank
let it go because it's going to be all right.
thank
So, as you said, my name is Erika Brooks, and I am a licensed professional counselor here in Virginia. I am a certified substance abuse counselor. I also am the owner of Enlightenment Counseling Services, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit later. I have done intensive in home, I have done anger management groups, I've also done domestic violence, substance abuse groups, and I've worked as a crisis clinician here in Virginia for 16 years.
awesome. Okay, that's all you got to say.
I think we're going to get into some of the rest, so I'll
Yeah.
save it a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. So my questions also may go a little crazy because I don't have those either. Guys, listen, I'm having a little bit of internet problems, so my regular computer where all my information is not working. So I had to pull up my. Now I got your bio though. It did pop up for me over here. So I'm working from my phone, and so that's why we're having a little bit of a shortage in thoughts right this second. But so Erica, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, as a licensed professional counselor, are you finding that this is a time that is so, prevalent, that your opportunities to serve people and to serve the community has really grown because of all that's really going on around us?
Especially since the beginning of our pandemic in March of 2019, a lot of my cohorts and myself have found that we are incredibly busy for a number of reasons. We're all stuck at home. So
Mhm.
the thoughts are in our heads of, I should be doing this better. I can't stay stuck in the house. I'm not enjoying this. We're stuck with our families, which can be a good or a bad thing. Um, for those who are used to being sociable, being extroverts like I am at times, it's kind of tough not being able to talk to people, especially if you live alone.
Right.
Um, Now you have to talk to yourself, and
Mm,
there's no one else to talk to.
yeah.
So it has definitely increased. We've seen an increase in people needing to talk to someone, increase in suicidal ideations. We've seen increase in substance use, as well as increase in domestic violence.
Wow.
The sad caseloads are staying steady.
Yeah, and that's interesting how you said that, because I was actually thinking about that today. With I live alone, and so my family is a little separated. One on way on that side of town, the other one on that side of town, and one in out of town. And so I spent a lot of time by myself during the pandemic.
Mhm.
I am really although people don't believe it, I'm really a people person. And so it was quite hard for me. And I had to keep slipping by and seeing people, and they was probably saying, why does she keep coming to my house? But but this past weekend I had an event in my house, and I had so many people there, and it was just wonderful just having people moving around in the house
Mhm.
besides me. And I
Mhm.
thought about that today. I said, wow, we waited like a whole year, but it's just so nice to see people just really moving around the house. So I understand that, but then there are a lot of people, but I was working. So that was the second part that was better for me, because I was working and I was able to go out. I was doing home care. So I was going from home to home, seeing different people. But like you said, there were a lot of people that we had that was not going out the house, not seeing anyone.
Right.
That
And
was very
some some of them lost jobs. We had a lot of people who lost jobs. So they were dealing with the loss of socializing, the loss of um, being able to go to school, being able to go to work, loss of income. There were a
Right.
lot, and then sadly, there were lots of losses of life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so were you dealing with like the families in those instances where, like do you do grief counseling also? I think that's in your bio.
Yes, I do grief counseling, and I'm in the process of working on certification to become a certified grief therapist. And I'm working on something that some people may find to be um, a little, they may find it to be weird, but it's called a certification in theontology, which is the study of death and dying.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about, which is something that we are typically not ready to deal with. We don't want to think about death, but especially during this pandemic, it's something that we've had to become more and more familiar with and more comfortable with how to process and how to deal with.
Yeah, because actually it's imminent. It's coming.
It
Um,
is.
Coming to your house, whether it's you, whether it's your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your mother, father, it's coming to your house. And so you have to be ready for it. As from a young age, I dealt with death.
Mhm,
So I see a lot of people who someone said recently, and they were a grown older person, and they said they had never experienced anyone dying and
mhm,
don't know how to even react. So that's a great thing that you are offering.
mhm,
So let's talk about I want to talk today about a couple of different things, but let's start with the certified substance abuse counselor because substance abuse has become something that people um, have not really paid attention to in a long time because we used to have a lot of outbreaks and then things stopped and they haven't paid attention to it in the sense that it's closer to their home than they think. S- so, and I mean not just crackheads on the street.
correct.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you're exactly right. It's a lot closer than it used to be. Um, And I think you're right. It's not just the crackhead that's on the street. You know, we dealt with the crack epidemic starting in the 80s and growing rapidly afterwards. But we're now seeing more things where we see, well, in the past 10 maybe 15 years, more addiction to prescription medications.
Right.
We've seen the addiction to the pills. We've seen the addiction to the cough syrup. We'll hear it called lean. Um, we also see addictions to different things that we aren't really realizing that we're taking in. And what I mean by that, such as marijuana, people often believe that they're smoking just plain marijuana, but a lot of times the marijuana is laced with different things.
Yeah.
And once you're addicted to that, you become addicted to many other things.
Mhm.
But there are lots of synthetic drugs that are out there as well, that people are becoming addicted to, and is having very strange effects on them, almost sometimes almost giving superhuman strength in a
Wow.
sense. Hmm.
And that's interesting. And I know in working, but also in being a patient, I've seen people go into doctors' offices, and the doctors' offices are now giving you contracts. And, they're not just handing out any Percocet and all of that. You are not getting that. They're going to go around the bend before you get all of that. So it's become a street problem also now, even with prescription drugs,
Mhm.
right?
And honestly, we don't even have to go to the street, unfortunately. We can buy lots of things off of the internet, and that is causing our addiction rates to
Right.
go higher.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hello to all of our guests that's sending us comments and checking in. And thank you again, everyone that's joined us. Welcome to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. Again, with this small screen, I'm trying to do the best I can to hit all the buttons and do
Mhm.
all
Hi,
the
Linda.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so let me ask you a few more questions about the substance abuse. Is it how difficult is it for people to really get the treatment that they need?
Well, there are plenty of programs that are set up. A lot of people think that you have to have a ton of money to be able to go and to get treatment. No. In Virginia, each county has what's called a community service board or behavioral health authority. Those those agencies receive federal funding so that they can provide substance abuse services. Now, sometimes that looks like you come in for an intake, and you may have to do outpatient services, which a lot of people are, once they make the decision to start, they want to go ahead full force with doing an inpatient treatment.
Oh,
But a lot of times, what that looks like when they come in for the assessment and then starting with the outpatient, it's making sure that a person is ready for
mm,
the services and having that support for when they do go into a residential treatment, and when they come out, they've got the support and the backing to help continue with their sobriety.
wow.
Mhm.
And then once they get the treatment that they need, how can the people around them and the families, this is what's going to be really important, I'm sure. How can they really support, or how can we really support others that we see, or even those that we see that are struggling and they can't figure out how to get help? How can we actually help them? Because they have to be able to, like you said, be willing to do it.
Right, right. There are a number of programs that are available for persons that need treatment, and for family and friends. Just being a good person, we all know that there are people who need help, and we all want to be prepared to give whatever resources that we can. As far as substance abuse, alcohol, or any other type of drug, one of the probably oldest and greatest ones that's free is AA,
Mm.
Alcoholics Anonymous, and there's also Narcotics Anonymous.
Oh,
So,
really?
so those are both free. You can look them up on AA.org, and they will give a listing. I'm sorry, AA.com. And they will give a listing of where they have meetings. They break it down based on the area in which you live in. They break it down based on time, whether you want an open group where anyone can walk in, whether you want a closed group for those who have been working the steps together. um, they have so many different ones. They have those that are religious based, they have those that are non-religious based. um, the great thing that I love about AA and NA, it's available pretty much throughout the US. um, and even when I was on vacation on a cruise,
Mm.
they had AA meetings.
Oh,
They have them in the airport. A little secret: if you ever do AA and you're looking for a meeting or you can't find a spot to go, if you ask the people, where can I find the friends of Bill?
oh,
That is kind of the terminology that will help you to find
oh,
an AA meeting.
wow.
Mhm. So we have those. We do have groups as far as for mental health, such as NAMI, which is National Alliance on Mental Illness. That is a US based organization. Um, and both of these, all of these, you can research and you can take part in meetings online. They
Wow.
still have meetings and education that's online. There are each of the community services boards or behavioral health authorities that I mentioned typically have meetings. If they don't have meetings, they know of the community resources that are available. Because I worked in Chesterfield, I can tell you there are probably about 4 really strong community agencies that are for families. Some are for families, and some are for the person with with the mental health concern. So they are available, and most of them are free.
Wow, that's
Mhm,
interesting.
mhm.
So, with your company, let's just talk about some of the other services that you provide as well. You said that you work with depression, anxiety, stress management, also. So, tell us how. One of the questions that I guess I wanted to ask was, how do you approach a person who, you know, may not see that they have a need for treatment?
That can be hard. um, as I've been telling people during this pandemic, if you see someone maybe needing a little bit of assistance, the first and best thing that you probably can do is just let them know that you're there for them
Mhm,
and that you're a listening ear. Once you offer them that listening ear and they start to share a little bit more, sometimes they become a little bit more open to
mhm,
talking with someone. Then you can give them information about places they can go, people they can talk to. You can give them resources online. For example, like I said, you can use NAMI. NAMI is a great resource. A lot of therapist offices have websites
mhm,
where they can read different information. For myself, I have a website that has some information about the basic knowledge of mental illness and some of the support systems that are available. They can also go to um, a page that I use quite often called Psychology Today. That has information available as well, and those are all free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So once they're ready, they can definitely reach out to me. I'm always available. Even if I don't have space open right at the moment, I'm happy to talk with them, happy to make referrals, happy to help them get through until they can get to someone permanently. Um, I can't stress enough the use of our local community services boards. Also, if they're really struggling, if they're having thoughts about wanting to hurt themselves or others, or they're unable to function because of their mental illness, they can go to their local ER, and the ER staff will assist them as well.
That's awesome. So
Mhm.
let's general like stress management and anxiety, things that people say, oh, it's not a mental illness, you know.
That's my
And,
favorite.
because there used to be such a stigma with, with these types of things and the services and all that kind of stuff. And oh, you have
Sure.
a therapist? Oh my goodness, you crazy, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's still like a stigma to it, is people, more open now?
Well, there's still a huge stigma, and I am a big proponent on working on breaking the stigma. You'll see a lot of campaigns that talk about ending the stigma. You'll see hashtag end the stigma, hashtag break the stigma, because mental illness does not affect just one person. It doesn't affect just the one person. It
Mhm.
affects all of them that are around. For example, if I have a mental illness, it affects my family because I may be unable to participate in family functions. I may not be reliable. It would affect my job because I may not be able to do my job. I may have to take more time off.
Mhm.
Um, it would affect, my community if, I'm needing resources and I'm not getting it, and I
Right.
start to act out in the community. So it affects so many people.
Mhm.
Right now, it's probably one set, probably every 7 in 10 people have a mental illness. That's a
Oh,
lot of people.
a lot of people.
And we have to stop the stigma because we have to stop the stigma. We have to stop the shame because if we don't, we're going to make it even more resistant for people to get the help that they need. Um, so, one of the biggest things that I work on, because as you can see, I'm an African American woman, and there's that age old stigma of we don't talk about what happens in this house. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, So we have to make it more comfortable that people can talk about mental illness and about what's going wrong. So we there are lots of organizations and therapists who work to educate those people that you might go and talk to.
Mhm.
Talking, so we educate our teachers, we educate our clergy people, we
Mhm.
educate the people in the church, we educate our doctors and our nurses so that they know what to look out for, how to be an ally to
Mm.
people so that they can get the treatment that's needed. One
Mm.
of the wonderful things in Virginia that has been occurring within the probably last 5 years, um, a lot of police officers have been taking part in what's called CIT. It's crisis intervention training, so that they are better prepared. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect,
Right.
but they're better prepared with approaching persons that need mental health treatment.
Right. Yeah. So is it covered by like insurance, or, you know, is it all you have to pay out of pocket for these things, for the treatments? I know there's free services, but there's some people who don't want to go to the free services because,
Mhm,
somebody might
mhm.
see, and, so.
Understand that. A lot of places, like I said, the local CSPs and the behavioral health authorities do work on sliding scale. Now, when I say sliding scale, if you have no income, you may have to pay $1,
Mhm.
if that. If you have insurance, great, insurance covers it. If you don't have insurance, there are some places that do have sliding scale, and there are some programs that do have funding, such as places such as Daily Grace, Daily Planet, Capital Area Agency on
Right.
Capital Area Health Network,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
They have funding to assist with mental health treatments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does your company come into alignment with all of these services? As you've given us names of other companies and other programs, tell us how your company actually comes into play.
Well, I have, it's a small practice that I do outpatient counseling. And right now, I am still doing virtual sessions. So my sessions are on Zoom or either a platform called DoxyMe. It is all 100% confidential. None of the information is dispersed unless you give me written permission to share any of it. Then it is still very much on a need to know basis. And that's one thing that people need to realize with mental health treatment. We are very careful about releasing any information unless it is absolutely necessary and it is in the best interest of the person.
Mm.
So I provide individual counseling, one on one. I do couples counseling, and I do some family sessions. Um, Typically, my sessions run about 50 minutes. Most people use insurance. If they don't, I do have self pay rates and I do some sliding scale. Um, I don't do any medication because I'm not a doctor, but I do connect people with a psychiatrist should they need one.
Mm. So
Um,
you're a great you're a great starting place for a lot of people that feel like they may need more, but they're afraid to step out. Uh,
mhm,
yeah, that's really good too.
mhm.
Uh,
And I do consultations. So if people need to call, I won't, do a full session with them and I let them know this is not a session, but I will do a consultation to help them get in the right direction. So they're welcome to call me. They're welcome to reach out by email. I
mhm.
also have a website and Facebook page, and I also do a blog that I'll post information from time to time as well that may be helpful.
Okay. And what's your Facebook page? You didn't give me that information, so I can't pop it up on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
The
okay.
Facebook page is Erika Brooks, LPC, CSAC. And on, oh, I do have Instagram. It's Erica.lpc.
Okay. Okay. So repeat that Facebook page. Somebody out there, if you can type that in the comments for us so
I'll
that.
type it in the comments. The Facebook page is Erika Brooks, LPC, CSAC, and I'll spell it correctly because everybody likes to put a C in my
Right.
name, but there's no C.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the screen is too small here for me to
No,
type.
it's okay. It's all right.
So, in conjunction with the things that you're saying, um, we love talking about a little bit of self care, and this is really self care in itself. If you think that you need any type of service, just somebody to talk to. It doesn't have to be that you feel like you're going crazy or you feel like you can't manage or anything like that. But sometimes you just need someone to talk some things out with,
Mhm,
not just because you have nothing better to do with your life, but you may need to start processing information different
mhm,
and
mhm.
with someone. So tell us about how this really helps with the self-care.
I think the best thing that people can do is remember to take care of yourself first and foremost. Now, whether that be you, you talk to your good friends. I see I have a couple of them here sending little messages. Um, whether you talk to your friends, whether you talk to your spiritual leader, whether you talk to your doctor. Your doctor can give great advice. I think that's a great starting point. You can't take care of anyone else until you take care of yourself. And certainly, I like to tell people, which I have also learned, we cannot pour from an empty pitcher. Meaning, if we're depleted, if we're worn out, if we're tired, if we're depressed, we can't give to other people. So we have to take a time out to make sure we take care of ourselves.
That's wonderful. Now, you are the therapist. So
Mhm.
what do you do for self-care?
Well, I have several friends that I've seen pop up on here. So a lot of times they know when I need to talk. So we either will talk by phone, we chat during the day via Messenger. Um, we love getting together just to hang out and talk. I am a cruiser. I love going on a cruise. And I am just sick right now that the cruise boats are not going like they need to.
Right. It started
But
back. I just saw
I'm sorry.
the day that started back up recently.
Yeah, and then I saw some news that some people have been getting sick, and I'm like, no. But eventually, I'm going to get back on my cruise boat. I'm going to get back there. I got that feeling. Um, so that's a bigger thing. But as far as the smaller things that I do, I love music. So I have different playlists that work for different things. I'm getting back into exercise.
Mm,
So walking is my favorite exercise, walking and dance. Um, I have a phenomenal family that God has truly blessed me with the best family ever. And they always keep me grounded. So um, it's nothing for me to call my sister, my brother, or my parents and just say, hey, what's going on? I need to talk, or just to hear what's happening. Um, and then there's some little people in my world, my niece and my nephews, that always make me smile and laugh. So,
awesome.
yeah.
Wow, it sounds like you have it a nice little support system, and always that's always important. So, Erica, I tell you, I'm so happy that you joined me on today. You've given us some great, great information, and you've been very calm in giving this information, which I think has probably helped some people, even for today, like me, to calm
Just
down.
breathe. Just breathe. I promise you, taking a deep breath and letting it out,
Yes,
it's
yes,
gonna just help because we have no control. We have no control over how things are gonna go. So we
yeah.
just take our time and know that it is gonna be the way it's gonna be.
It is. It'll all work itself out also, right? So
Mhm.
appreciate you. What I would like for you to just tell us one, if you have anything coming up. Are you anything, or is there anything new coming out from Erika Brooks that we can look forward to?
I'm always doing something. um, so I'm working on several things. I had to postpone the podcast, but I will have a podcast coming out. It
Mhm.
is Tea Time with Erica. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. It'll be coming out on the Facebook page, as well as on the Instagram page, and on the website as well. I'm going to get back into the blogging. So
Mhm.
those will be coming out probably every other week. And I am working on a little self care um, box for those who would like to purchase those using aromatherapy.
Wow,
So I've
that's
got some good things coming up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just reading some about aromatherapy because I work with dementia,
Hmm.
and so we were talking about the aromatherapy and getting into that. And it's what they say. And I thought about it. I was like, it's interesting because some things do make you feel a certain way. So that's a great thing. I'm looking forward to that box. I'm gonna have to get me one. So put my name on the list for.
You are on the list, my friend. You are on the list.
So I know about it so I can purchase mine. So
It will be there.
thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you to all of your friends and family that joined in. You guys can go ahead and share this. Those that were unable to be with us today can catch the replay and get this great information. So feel free to share. We are streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. So you can share it in any of those places, even if they're not on Facebook, and they can get this great information. And thank you again. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. It's been a great day. So let's make it a great evening, and everyone get that rest that you need. All,
Yes.
thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. All right, friends and family, thank you so much once again for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back again real soon. Listen, don't forget to stop by on a couple of different things we've got going on. We've got on Amazon.com. You can stop by and you can get my book there. You have my book, which is Let the Vision Speak by me, Gwen Finley, on Amazon.com. Hey, it's still a good book. It still has some good information to encourage you to get that vision out there. There's so many people out there that have so much in their hearts and in their spirit that they like to release, and I'm here to help you do just that. So join me over at gwenfinley.org if you'd like to get more information about me and what we can do together. I love you all, and I wish that you would have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Tell your friends, tell your family that you love them today. All right. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you, cuz. Bye.